Okay, so we have looked at the force, we have looked at the momentum. So now let's look at the kinetic energy of the system. Okay, so the kinetic energy of the system usually is given by the symbol T. Okay, in some of the textbooks, it might also be written as K. So uh, just follow a consistent notation, or maybe when you solve problems, you can just write that T is equal to kinetic energy, and that will you know eliminate any possibilities of any confusion. Okay, so in our scenario, we have the kinetic energy as 1 half m v square. Okay, so we have 1 half m r dot square. Okay, so that is our kinetic energy. Now we are looking at a system where you have, let's say, the sun, and then you have the earth here, right? And then it is doing some kind of motion that is elliptical, right, around the sun. Okay, so there is your earth. Okay, so in this scenario you have two objects. So when you look at the kinetic energy of the entire system, then you will have two kinetic energy terms, right? The kinetic energy of the sun and the kinetic energy of the earth. Okay, so then this term will become 1 half m r1 dot square plus 1 half m r2 dot square. Okay, and remember r dot is dr by dt, and that is the velocity. Okay, so so this is our situation, right? So we have two masses, and this is the relative position r1 and r2, and r is the position of the center of mass. Okay, so we have already defined this situation. We have r, I'm going to call it center of mass so that there is no confusion. Okay, and this was given by m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by total mass. Okay, so m1 plus m2. All right, so that is our value for position of center of mass. Okay, and what is the r coordinate? R coordinate is r1 minus r2. Okay, so from here what we can see is that if I substitute everything in terms of this r of center of mass and the r coordinate, then I can present a much more generalized picture rather than just presenting the idea of r1 and r2, and that's what I want to do. Okay, so in these equations here, I want to get rid of r1 and r2. Okay, and the expression for r1 minus r of center of mass. Okay, and of course you can write this as a vector r. Okay, because all of these are vectors. Okay, so r1 minus r of center of mass, let me do it properly. Okay, what will I get? I will get r1 minus m1 r1 plus m2 r2. Okay, and I have this entire expression divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so now I can take the LCM. Okay, the left hand side remains the same, so I will get m1 r1 plus m2 r1. Okay, minus m1 r1 minus m2 r2. Okay, so I am taking my negative sign inside. Okay, and the entire expression will be divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so I have taken the LCM. All right, so here now I can see that some terms are cancelling. This m1 r1 will cancel itself out. Okay, and I get m2 is a common value. Okay, and I'm getting r1 minus r2. Okay, and then I have a divide by m1 plus m2. Okay, and here basically that means I have a value of uh, m2, and then I have r. Okay, divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, because r1 minus r2 is just r. Okay, so now I can say that from here r1 can be written as r center of mass, I am taking it on the other side, plus m2 r divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so you see now I have completely changed r1 coordinate into the position of center of mass and my value of the entire coordinate system of R. Okay. Similarly, I can do the second one, which is R2 minus R of center of mass. Okay. So only thing is here in the first expression, I will get R2 minus M1 R1 plus M2 R2 divided by M1 plus M2. Okay. And similarly, when I take the LCM, I will get M1 plus M2 in the denominator, and in the numerator, I will get M1 R2 plus M2 R2. Okay, I just need to remember that all of these are vectors. Okay, and I have minus M1 R1 minus M2 R2. Okay, so again, some of the terms will cancel. The M2 term cancels. Okay, and I am left with M1, and now I have a term as R2 minus R1. Okay, divided by M1 plus M2. Okay, so now here this term I want to bring it back into R, so I get minus M1 R. Okay, because R is R1 minus R2. Okay, so I will get a negative sign to change this to R1 minus R2, and I get M1 plus M2. Okay, so that is my value for R2 minus R of center of mass. So here I can again write an expression for R2 as being R of center of mass minus M1 R divided by M1 plus M2. Okay, so I have my two expressions for R1 and R2 in terms of position of center of mass and your coordinate system R. Okay, and once I have these terms of R1 and R2, what you can do is you can get the terms for velocity. Okay, so velocity V1 will be just the derivative of this. So you get R dot of center of mass plus M2 is constant and M1 plus M2 is again constant. Okay, and then here I will get the coordinate small r dot as my term in the expression. Okay, similarly I can find the velocity 2, and that will be my r of center of mass dot minus M1 r dot, okay, divided by M1 plus M2. Okay, so now I have these terms, and remember what is this? V1 is just R1 dot and V2 is just R2 dot. Okay, and so from here I can plug this value into my equation here. Okay, and R1 dot and R2 dot. All right, so let's try to do that. Okay, so I have T. Okay, for the first expression I have my value of this should be m1 because I'm taking the kinetic energy of the first mass. Okay, so let's call this mass m1, let's call this mass m2, right? So I will have 1 half m1 r1 dot square, and this should be 1 half m2 r2 dot square. Okay, so I have 1 half m1, and then instead of r1 dot I can now plug in the value of my equation from before, which is r dot center of mass, and this is m1. So I will have essentially a minus sign here, m2 r dot divided by m1 plus m2, and that will be whole square. Let me see if I've got that right. R1 dot is plus m2 by m1, so I'm going to take this sign as plus, and I have plus 1 half m2, and this should be r dot center of mass minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2, and I have another r dot here, and then that is also squared. Okay, so now that is my complete expression for my kinetic energy. Okay, so I can solve this a little bit further. Okay, and I can get a value for these expression. My first expression will be 1 half m1 r dot center of mass square, and similarly I will get another term which is going to be 1 half m2 r dot center of mass square, which will come from this term. Okay, and then I will have cross multiplication terms. I'll have 1 half m1 times this m2 square, right? So let's do that. Okay, so I will have 1 half m1 m2 square r dot square divided by m1 plus m2 whole square. Okay, so that is my term here, and then I get another term here which is plus 1 half m1 square m2 divided by m1 plus m2 square, and then I have a r dot square here. Okay, so those are my two terms, and then I have cross multiplication terms, which will be here I will get 2ab, right? So 2 times r dot center of mass times m1 m2 r dot divided by m1 m2. But notice that here you will get minus 2ab, okay, and those terms will cancel. So you are left with only these 4 terms, okay. So the 2ab and minus 2ab terms will cancel, okay. So I can clearly see I have the same factor m1 m2 r dot and r dot center of mass, okay. So these are the only terms that I am left with. So here now I can combine this. I can write it 1 half m1 plus m2 r dot center of mass square. R dot center of mass square is common, so I have taken it outside. Similarly here I can write it as 1 half, I can take m1 m2 r dot square outside, and I will get m1 plus m2 inside, okay, and I have in the denominator m1 plus m2 square, okay. So what I'm left with is one of these m1 plus m2 gets cancelled, so I get 1 half m1 plus m2 r dot center of mass square plus 1 half, and I will have m1 m2 r dot square divided by m1 plus m2, okay. But notice m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, what was this term? This was our reduced mass, right? So here I can just write this expression as 1 half m1 plus m2 r dot center of mass square plus 1 half mu r dot square, okay, and that is my expression for the kinetic energy of the system, okay. And note that here you have now two expressions. You have one expression which is r dot center of mass. What is r dot center of mass? R dot center of mass is just the velocity of center of mass, okay, and we know that velocity of center of mass is, what is the value for velocity of center of mass? It is a constant term, remember, this is a constant, okay. We had already proved that before. And here you have reduced mass times r dot square. So if I now move to the frame of reference where the position of center of mass is, so let's say now there is some position here which is the position of center of mass, okay. Now if that is the scenario and I now sit here and take this as the frame of reference, then it will feel like there is no velocity of this position of center of mass, because I am in that frame of reference, right? So that is saying the same thing, that you are on earth, so you don't feel how fast the earth is moving, okay. So here this first term, if I move to the center of mass frame of reference, will become 0, and then you will left with only the second term, that t will be 1 half m times v square, but now m is reduced mass and v is r dot instead of r1 and r2. So you see how beautifully this equation reduces down to an equation where you can combine the two masses, okay, and you can use the coordinate system of separation between the two masses, okay, and that gives you the kinetic energy of the system when you go into the center of mass frame of reference, okay. If I consider polar coordinates, okay, then I have to be careful with equations I'm using, all right. And so let's quickly go ahead and try to see the situation when we have polar coordinates, okay. And again we have the idea that there are two masses, okay, and the only thing what we are going to do is we are going to say y coordinate, okay. I have my x coordinate, and I am defining this situation with respect to some angle, okay. So I have one mass that is here, okay, and I have one mass that is going around in a orbital motion like this, okay. And in my scenario, what is happening is this is the value r, okay, and my value of r cap, this unit vector direction is this direction here, okay. So r cap is the unit vector, and then theta cap is pointing somewhere like this, okay. And so these values are changing, okay. So as the mass that is present here, okay, it's orbiting around this second mass, okay, this value of r and theta are both changing, okay. So that is my scenario when I'm considering polar coordinates, okay. And of course my x coordinate will be some value of r cosine theta, and my y coordinate will be r sine theta, okay. So that's just trigonometry. All right. So now when I want to find the kinetic energy in the polar coordinates, again I will start with the same idea that t will be some value of 1 half m, and now I'll have the r is expressed in terms of x and y, right? So r square will be x square plus y square. So similarly r dot square will be some x dot square, okay, plus y dot square, okay. So that is my kinetic energy in the polar coordinates, okay. So let's see what is x dot, okay. So I have x is r cos theta, okay. So if I want to find d by dt of r cosine theta, okay, then it should be, now remember your r and theta both are changing, okay. So you have to be a little bit careful here. So my first expression will be r dot, okay, cosine theta, and then I have to keep r constant, okay. So I have r constant, and then I have to take the change in the cosine angle, okay. So when I change the cosine angle, I will have minus of sine theta, okay, and I'll have d theta by dt as well, okay. So I have a theta dot as well, okay. So that is my expression for x dot. Similarly, y dot will be d by dt, okay, of r sine theta, okay. Again both these values are changing with time, okay. So first expression will be r dot sine theta, and then I have to take r as constant. Derivative of sine theta will be cos theta, and I will have d theta by dt, okay, theta dot. So those are my terms, okay. We have to be very careful, all right. So now when I take the value of t and I'm taking 1 half m, my first expression will be x dot square. So I have to take a square of this, okay. So let me take the square of this, okay, or let me write that down first so that it is easier for us to take the square value, okay. So I have this, then I have r dot cosine theta minus r sine theta, theta dot. Again, this looks tedious, but you will realize in the end how you get a very simplified expression, okay. And I have another term which is 1 half m y dot square. So I will have this expression twice. So I have r dot sine theta plus r cosine theta theta dot. Okay, r dot sine theta plus r cosine theta theta dot. Okay, so those are my two expressions. Now let me see if I have gotten them correct. All right, I'm happy with them. So my first expression will be 1 half. Okay, so I will get there is a m here, so I will get r dot square, and I have a cos square theta term. Okay, then I have second term is r dot times this r, so I have a minus here, and it is r dot, and I have a sine theta, I have a cosine theta, and I have a theta dot. Okay, so that is my second term. Okay, and then I have this first term, which is again minus r dot sine theta cosine theta theta dot. This is multiplication of this and this term, and then I have the last term, which is minus times minus, which will be plus r square sine square theta theta dot. Okay, and I have theta dot square as well. Okay, there you go. So I have multiplied this expression with the two terms and then this expression with the two terms. So I get all these four terms here. Right, now I have the last four terms remaining. I have 1/2 m, and then I have to do again r dot. You see, now I'm getting sine square theta. So you can already imagine that this will combine to become 1. And I have r dot r sine theta cosine theta theta dot. So I'm multiplying this term with this term here. Okay, and I have another r cosine theta r dot sine theta theta dot, that is these two terms, and then in the end I'll have r square cosine square theta theta dot square. Okay, okay, so now we have all these expressions, but it will combine down, you see. So let's try to see which expressions get combined. Okay, so I have r dot square cosine square theta, I have r square r dot so there should be a square here, right? So I missed that. Okay, so I have r dot square and then I have sine square theta. So then when I combine this I will get 1. Okay, similarly, so let's write that down. I'll have 1/2 m r dot square. Okay, because cosine square theta plus sine square theta is 1. Similarly, I have r square cosine square theta theta dot square. I have r square sine square theta theta dot square. So r square theta dot square are common. So I have 1/2 m r square and theta dot square. Okay, so those are common, and then the other terms sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. Okay, and what else? I have minus r dot sine theta cos theta theta dot, and here I have plus r dot sine theta cos theta. So these terms are getting cancelled. Okay, similarly I have r dot cosine theta theta. So again this term will also cancel. Okay, so there you go. I have only two terms remaining. Okay, so my expression for this kinetic energy in polar coordinates becomes 1/2, and I have m is constant, and I get r dot square plus r square theta dot square. This is my expression for kinetic energy in polar coordinates. Lagrangian is your kinetic energy minus your potential energy. Now, what I'm going to say is I'm going to look at the motion of a mass that is subjected to some potential. Okay, and that potential you can call it as a spherically symmetric potential. You can just take u of r to be something like your value for your gravitational potential. It is spherically symmetric. Okay, so this is the value of your potential. Okay, which is here. Okay, now just to avoid confusion, let's just write this as u. Okay, so that is my expression. So L will become 1/2 m, okay, r dot square plus r square theta dot square. Remember polar coordinates. Okay, minus you have an expression of p of r. Okay, so that is your expression. Now what you are getting here is you're getting L, that is a function of r. Okay, and it's a function of r dot. Okay, and it is a function of theta dot. Okay, and it is also a function of time. Okay, so L is dependent on all these variables. Okay, so we have in essence time, we can not think of it as a variable. Okay, we know that as the time goes on these quantities will change. Okay, so you can say that L is dependent on which coordinates? It is dependent on r and theta. Okay, and these are the generalized coordinates. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the first equation, which is going to be my angular equation. Okay, and in the angular equation, what I'm going to do, I'm going to again take the partial derivative with respect to the angle, dl by d theta. Okay, minus I have to take d by dt. Okay, and the next expression was dl by d theta dot. Okay, and that is equal to 0, and that is my equation of motion, which is the angular equation. Okay, so now I'm taking partial derivatives with respect to theta. Okay, and you can imagine there is going to be another equation which is going to be the radial equation that we'll solve later. Okay, so let's first try to solve this equation from the Lagrangian formulation. Okay, for any potential, you can have gravitational potential, you can have any other spherically symmetric potential, and see how the mass m will behave. Okay, and here again, if I want to take dl by d theta, okay, so I'm taking the variation with respect to theta. Okay, and this value should be 0. Why? Because theta is a cyclic variable. Okay, so my change with respect to theta will be 0. All right, but I have the expression for dl by d theta dot, so that I will have to calculate. So here in my equation I have this theta dot term here, so I will have 1 half m, r square will stay as it is. Okay, and because it's partial derivative, and now when I take the value here, I'll get 2 theta dot, and then I will get theta. There it is. So right, because I'm taking with respect to theta, so I will get only 2 theta dot. That is my expression. All right, so 2 and 2 will cancel, so I'm getting m r square theta dot. Okay, very interesting, because now you see what is the equation 2 here. Equation 2 is telling me first expression is 0 and negative sign I can ignore. So I'm getting d by dt of the dl by d theta dot is m r square theta dot is equal to 0. But remember, we have seen this equation. M r square theta dot is nothing but your angular momentum. Okay, so what this equation from Lagrangian is telling me, that if I take a situation for any mass, okay, and I subject it to some potential, in that scenario I will always get that the angular momentum is conserved. So you see how the Lagrangian takes the equation formulation, you plug it into this equation, and there you go, you get an answer that is just a wonderful summation of what is going on as a property of the system. Okay, and it is a very generalized statement that you're making for any kind of spherically symmetric potential. Okay, you can have electrostatic potential here, you will get the same result. Okay, and once you do that, you will see that angular momentum, which we call is J, which is mr square omega. Okay, it is a constant term. Okay, so we have just proved the conservation of angular momentum using the Lagrangian formulation. Okay, in polar coordinates. All right, the next time what we are going to do is we are going to use the same Lagrangian formulation, but now we are going to use the radial equation, and the radial equation is going to be something like this, that you are going to take the derivative with respect to r, and you will have another equation d by dt dl by dr dot. Okay, which will be equal to 0, and that will be your radial equation. And we'll try to solve this radial equation, and then we'll see what effect we get. Okay, so we'll get some other interesting fact of how the system is behaving when we look at this equation. And our Lagrangian is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy, and that will be just 1 half m, again polar coordinates, so I have r dot square plus r square theta dot square. Okay, minus some spherically symmetric potential u of r, where u of r can, for the case of gravitational potential, will be gm small m divided by r.